Bill Gates urges rich countries to fund coronavirus vaccine search. Microsoft founder Bill Gates has urged rich countries to put a few percent of their gross domestic product towards finding and distributing a COVID-19 vaccine, highlighting a potentially huge shortfall in current investment levels. In a video interview with the Financial Times, Mr. Gates said that despite the economic strain developed countries were under, there was a compelling case to spend tens of billions of dollars to support the manufacturing and distribution of a vaccine that would also be accessible for the poorest countries. When you're talking about making it easier to not have infection coming back into a country, you can make both a humanitarian and a self-interest argument that even a few percent of GDP going against that for the rich countries would be a wise investment, Mr. Gates said. The co-chair of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation said everybody's dealing with an immense number of priorities. Then again, they've decided to not operate under the normal fiscal constraints. The UK has contributed £250 million to efforts by the Coalition for Epidemic Preparedness Innovation, SAPI, to develop a COVID-19 vaccine. The Gates Foundation was one of the creators. Canada, Germany, and Norway are among the other countries funding SAPI's search for a vaccine, with pledges totaling $690 million. SAPI, which is an alliance of governments, the private sector, and charities, is running 8 COVID-19 vaccine development projects and has made an urgent appeal for $2 billion for this research. While the US government has not given money directly to SAPI's COVID-19 vaccine project, it has put almost $500 million towards Johnson & Johnson's research for vaccine and struck a deal with Moderna for an undisclosed amount. Moderna is one of the companies with which SAPI has a COVID-19 vaccine development project. Another $27 billion from the US $2.2 trillion coronavirus stimulus package has been earmarked for bolstering life-saving capabilities, including developing vaccines and the development, purchase, and distribution of critical supplies. That $27 billion and the Johnson & Johnson deal would put US government funding to develop a vaccine at 0.13% of the country's 2019 GDP. In the private sector, several companies are racing to develop a COVID-19 vaccine, including Sanofi, GSK, Pfizer, and British American Tobacco. German biotech groups BioNTech and CureVac are also working on potential vaccines. Mr. Gates said it was vital for rich countries to support the developing world's fight against the virus. The impact of those dollars on helping things not completely deteriorate, helping hold things together, helping accelerate that the vaccine manufacturer, I think the case on that would be compelling. Mr. Gates has previously warned that the world was not ready to fight a highly infectious virus. He told the FT that lessons would be learned from the COVID-19 crisis and countries would prepare more in the future. There's no doubt, having paid many trillions of dollars more than we might have had to if we'd been properly ready, people will prepare. Because it affected the rich countries, we've been whacked on the head.